regarding the Nazi-Soviet continuum psychopolitical agenda, it's important to note that different Russian intelligence networks have different agendas. Indeed, the GRU networks seem to be funding a lot of the activity of the Faith of Ishmael. Indeed, I believe this is to do with the fact that the Russian military cannot actually fight the military of the Western countries, and therefore the GRU are using the Faith of Ishmael adherents as proxies. Indeed, it's actually really quite cowardly, the activities of the GRU in the United Kingdom, and the fact that they are basically part of the coordination of the rape gang phenomenon. However, this rape gang phenomenon could not happen without the complicity of the British police and the British intelligence services. Indeed, if the British intelligence services wanted to shut down the rape gang phenomenon, they could. And they don't, because it's all part of a Masonic ritual whereby the innocent are sacrificed to the demons of the Masons. So it's all interlinking. I'm realizing more and more now that my loyalty lies with the innocents and vulnerable segments of the population of the Anglo population. And indeed, I believe this is where my loyalty may have always been. However, due to GRU mind control trickery, I went in some rather funny directions. Indeed, as a paranoid schizophrenic Anglo man, it's all very interesting indeed. Much of my loyalty is with the schizophrenics of the United Kingdom, who are basically being systematically destroyed by the intelligence services. Indeed, as I've explained, the psychiatric establishment is part of the intelligence structure of the United Kingdom, and the psychiatrists of the British psychiatric establishment are engaged in psychopolitics. Psychopolitics is not solely a Russian originating agenda. Indeed, psychopolitics is British eugenicist, Nazi continuum, and Soviet. Indeed, all of these elements, as I was explaining yesterday, engage in psychopolitics. And Britain is effectively a psychocracy, with the Tavistock Institute basically controlling the minds of the population through a Reesian ethos. Indeed, as I've stated before, John Rawlings Rees posited that a cabal of psychiatrists should run the nation, complete with 5,000 or so psychiatric shock troops, as he described them, that would monitor the population and keep the population in line with the psychopolitical agenda. Indeed, schizophrenics tend to be rugged individualists and therefore do not fit into the overall scheme of the psychopolitical agenda, which is the subordination of all human souls to the state structure. Indeed, the psychopoliticians of this psychocracy in the United Kingdom via British intelligence continuums wish to subordinate all minds via the hive mind ideology of H.G. Wells, the British intelligence operative. They wish to subordinate all the souls of the United Kingdom to the hive mind that H.G. Wells posited, and basically tranquilize the population in a Brave New World style agenda also, indeed, so that people will basically love their servitude. Indeed, Aldous Huxley's book was a blueprint, and Aldous Huxley was a key eugenicist connected to the Children of the Sun, therefore the Mosley family. Indeed, the Mosley family are currently running the UK branch of Palantir. This is outright eugeno-fascist intentions. Indeed, Aldous Huxley was a British intelligence operative, and basically these factions of British intelligence that I'm explaining are psychopolitical factions, and indeed they directly connect to the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst through the networks of such modern figures as Blaise Metravelli, the Director General of MI6, who appears to me to be from a Nazi breeding program. Indeed, if you look at her features, she basically has those Lebensborn features, and the fact that her grandfather was Konstantin Dobrovolsky, known as the Butcher, a key Abwehr operative during the Second World War and Banderist, who basically was a mass murderer of people deemed to be enemies of the Nazi regime. Indeed, it's interesting to consider the fact that both Ukrainian intelligence and Russian intelligence networks in the Ukraine war are coordinated by the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst. It's all interconnecting indeed. As I've stated, I keep trying to avoid these unifying concepts regarding conspiracism, but it seems that everything does seem to be interconnecting to this Nazi continuum Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst agency, which there also intersects with the Soviet intelligence services and, interestingly, the British intelligence services. Indeed, this is all a wider psychopolitical agenda. Indeed, the psychopoliticians view the state as the overarching organism by which all human beings should basically organize themselves into, and through processes termed mental healing, etc., all of the population will basically unite in one mindset, which is part of the idea behind the hive mind of British intelligence operative and eugenicist H.G. Wells. And it's all rather interesting. It seems that the British intelligence services are trying to scare the population of the United Kingdom into submission, and to do this, they are using such phenomenons as the Masonic ritual rape gang phenomenon. Indeed, as I've stated, this is occurring because of a Masonic ritual element within the intelligence services of the United Kingdom, who are profiting and excited by this prospect of these Middle Eastern, etc., males doing what they do to the innocence of the United Kingdom, basically. And it's all a rather sad situation, but this is the nature of the psychopolitical agenda. Indeed, the British intelligence services psychopolitical elements are also committing a mass drugging of the population through the proliferation of narcotics, and I believe the strength and nature of these narcotics is going to increase tenfold. Indeed, I'm expecting the introduction of various new generation synthetic chemicals and the proliferation of those new generation synthetic chemicals throughout the nation. Indeed, different chemicals will be tested in different regions. Indeed, we only have to look at the example of Stoke-on-Trent, where MDPHP and various other monkey dust components are specifically tested in that specific area as basically a laboratory to see what happens. Indeed, I've tried that stuff and I can see why people are so intent on using it. So it's really quite scary, the concepts that are being brought about via British intelligence activities at the moment. And as I've stated, this is all part of a long-term psychopolitical agenda. Indeed, and this links me back to the networks of German psychiatrists during the 1700s who organized themselves as the Mad Housekeepers Guild. Indeed, the Mad Housekeepers Guild is an urban legend spoken of only by a very small number of schizophrenics who actually know of its existence. And this network is directly linked to the Tavistock Institute and the Reesian agenda, and therefore also the networks of the National Institute for Mental Health, the National Association for Mental Health, and the World Federation for Mental Health. It's quite interesting. A couple of GRU operatives were discussing me yesterday, and they were saying, you do know he bases his theories on creeps. It's very interesting to consider that. Indeed, some of the more cranky conspiracy theorists I read do have a reputation for being creeps, but they say some really, really interesting things. And considering the GRU are calling people creeps, it doesn't really hold too much sway, because the GRU are some of the most terrible elements of the population of the Russian Federation. Indeed, they are literally the worst human beings to arise from that society. So it's very interesting. We have to consider such networks as the SVR, which are the supposed continuation of the KGB Foreign Directorate. And the SVR, one of the SVR chiefs, Dugin, is very close to Troy Southgate. And I believe Troy Southgate is running a ring, basically. The National Anarchist movement is a hoax to basically distract people from getting out of the neo-Nazi agenda. Indeed, people trying to escape from the neo-Nazi agenda are basically brought back into it by the National Anarchist movement, who are kind of like a strange synthesis between the Process Church of the Final Judgment and the Ahnenerbe. I believe Troy Southgate is basically running a satanic ritual network and also running networks for the production and distribution of illicit pornography and various human intelligence gathering processes and digital intelligence gathering processes for the British security services, i.e. MI5. It does seem to be a almost a COINTELPRO style operation also. So it's very interesting to consider, and these networks are all part of the wider psychopolitical agenda. So it all pretty much interlinks with what I'm saying. Indeed, it is interesting how everything links back up to these networks. Everything seems to link back up to basically what should really be termed the Illuminati, the British intelligence services, the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst, long-range Nazi continuum intelligence services, and the networks of the KGB GRU continuums. Indeed, these are all interlinking and intersecting networks that are basically an enormous mafia cartel, and they are operative to, via psychopolitics, completely control the mind of the population, which is a rather scary thought indeed. I can only theorize on the technology that's been being used on me over the years. I believe that the intelligence services can see through my eyes and read my thoughts and map my thoughts onto a computer system, which is really quite interesting. I also believe that they are interfering with my dreams and also sexually stimulating me in my sleep. So it's all a very strange concept to consider indeed. The psychotronic beaming, although I have theorized that it has been the British Security Services or the GRU, I'm not entirely sure who it is. Indeed, it may have been both. It may continue to be both. So it seems there are various networks attempting to destabilize me and force me into a nervous breakdown. Indeed, I was reliably informed recently that the Faith of Ishmael adherents of Wiltshire are hoping that I have a mental breakdown, because when I have mental breakdowns, and I have had many, I am basically incapacitated and I cannot do what I do for a living, basically, when I've had too heavy a breakdown. Indeed, I am a schizophrenic man and I am prone to delusions and fixations, but I seem to be able to operate okay as long as I'm not having a full-on mental breakdown. But as was seen in 2021, me having a full-on mental breakdown can really be quite disturbing. So it's all very interesting to consider, and I am often afraid for my personal safety, but I have a funny feeling I'm going to be all right. And I'm just going to keep myself safe and attempt to get as much information as I possibly can into the public domain, because I believe things are about to come down quite quickly now. Indeed, I believe that British intelligence are wondering what to do with this threat, basically. Indeed, although the GRU are highly operative in the coordination of the rape gang phenomenon and the migration patterns into the United Kingdom, these rape gang phenomenons and migration patterns would not be happening without the full knowledge and complicity of the British police and the British intelligence services. Indeed, the British intelligence services and the British police are heavily involved in the rape gang phenomenon, and the British intelligence services and the British police are basically at war with the British people, which is very interesting to consider as the Masonic networks and guilds and intelligence branches of the British intelligence services and the British police are psycho-political in nature. Indeed, they seek the systematic destruction of the human will to resist authority. They seek the systematic destruction of the schizophrenic population of the country. Indeed, the schizophrenic population of the country are the most incredible people in the country. People do not realize this yet, that the schizophrenic elements of the population are the most incredible human beings in this land. And there is no one that could be more dangerous to the established system than networks of schizophrenics operating together, but also operating with various networks of so-called normal people. Indeed, these schizophrenics need to be looked after by networks of normal people so that they can thrive. Indeed, this is the problem. The population has been conditioned to believe that they need to protect themselves from the insane, when the insane are actually the most loving, sweet-natured people going. Indeed, schizophrenics are not violent by nature. They are forced into violent situations by the society that surrounds them. Schizophrenics are some of the most wonderful human beings that have ever walked the face of the earth. Indeed, I'm a bit embittered with the fact that I was railroaded into a psychiatric hospital. It was on the pretext of things I'd been saying about the faith of Ishmael, but I believe there was also a Wiltshire police element to my incarceration, because Wiltshire police wanted to shut me up regarding my exposures of their collusions with the faith of Ishmael adherents and their various rings. And it's interesting to consider that while I was in psychiatric hospital, I was sexually assaulted by an adherent of the faith of Ishmael several times. So it was then played down by the ward manager, who basically said, oh, it's his culture. And this is the nature of the psycho-political driven agenda of the United Kingdom, and the fact that we are kowtowing to faith of Ishmael adherents and allowing them to do what they want, because it's all part of the psycho-political agenda. Indeed, this is a Masonic ritual. Basically, the abuse of the innocents is being coordinated by Masonic networks that control British intelligence and the British police. But then again, I believe there's a level of the intelligence structure above the Masons. So basically, you've got the British police and the British intelligence structures. Then you have the high-ranking Masonic networks. And then above them, you have another level of British intelligence that don't fall under the immediate categorization of elite Freemasons. Indeed, these are like another level of elite British intelligence operatives who are basically controlling this whole eugenicist-driven psycho-political agenda, which is designed to herd us into a certain mentality. And also, the idea is that behind this ideology is the extermination of the schizophrenics. Indeed, the idea is to put microchips in the brains of all schizophrenics, but because of the sheer hatred and antipathy that these elite intelligence operatives feel for the only people that can threaten their dominion, i.e., the schizophrenics, there may be a T4 style extermination of schizophrenics via mass liquidation, basically, which is really quite a scary concept. Indeed, the schizophrenics are the biggest danger to the elite intelligence operatives running the United Kingdom, and the schizophrenics are the biggest danger due to their rugged individualism, cosmic intelligence connections, and sheer beauty as human beings. The schizophrenics are the biggest danger to the psychopolitical agenda and the operations of some very evil people. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there.